All right, this is attorney Matthew Nuzum, and I am with an excellent woman entrepreneur who recently shared some exciting news. Melissa, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi. So my name is Melissa Burkheimer, and I do all things from brand design, brand strategy, copy, and positioning, really centered around project or product launches, which is very specific. But I'm excited that that's where I'm at. And the thing he's talking about was that I shared on LinkedIn that I September is 12 years of me having my business full time. I started it in January of 2011, but I was able to land a consistent gig by September of that year, and here we are, that many years later.
So congratulations on doing that. You really are an inspiration to me, and I'm sure others. You said something in that post that I thought was so interesting. You said that you launched your business in January of 2011, but then September you were like this was your real thing. What was it like going from January to September?
So I think it was I didn't really know what to do. I was looking for a job like prior to that. I also had small kids when I had one small child when I started college, and then like one right after graduating, and I just didn't want to be like working 8 to 5 and then some with like a whole week's vacation with small kids at home. And so I just started going to networking events. I was open to writing, I was open to designing, and I really did that in between little league games, football practices, cleaning, cooking, taking kids to and from school, and also like working. Like I was working between like 28 and 32 hours a week.
Well, I want to first of all say that I respect that you wanted to put your family as a high priority, and I know that many parents who have entrepreneurial dreams struggle with this, and that is how can I pursue this dream and have my family as a priority. I want to be there when they get home from school, or I want to be able to take them to events or help out in their classrooms. And so I know that many people share that goal. So again, that's why I think that you're an inspiration. All right. So how did you get your first customer?
I went to networking events and I handed out business cards. They were so awful. And they were like, the logo was skewed, and I was calling myself, anyways, it doesn't matter. But I was just handing out my business card, and I started out really having zero knowledge about like how to run a business, like that you need to know your numbers, or what like a graphic designer or a writer should even be charging. So I was charging $20 an hour, and I was actually working for free before that. I would like do like volunteer brand identities for like, and there was an event called the Social Media Love Hate event that I designed a logo for that Laura Gawke had put on, and so I did the logo for that. And then I met someone there who passed my business card along to someone who's like, oh, this girl does graphic design for $20 an hour, and so that was where I got my first.
I hope you're charging
My
more
first
than 20 an hour now.
Oh, I definitely am now, but like the way that I looked at it was like, okay, I'm making not quite $20 an hour at my job, so I'm making a little bit more money. But no, my first year I had a loss in revenue, like just to be like very, very upfront about that. And I also, again, there's a lot of people that try to do this. I have a partner with a steady job and benefits. So I was able to kind of go out and pursue this while I had my job. So I still had the income from that. And when I landed the consistent gig in September, that was kind of what was like, okay, now it's time for me to quit and trying to do 15,000 things at once and just do 15,000 things in my business. Only like,
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you had that support so that you had a safety net just in case.
yeah.
So did you feel inadequate? Like, why would anybody pay me when you were getting those first few
I
clients?
didn't feel inadequate. It was more, I didn't really understand how to communicate the value of design and like what it could do for people. Or that I didn't even know if I wanted to do that. Cause I think that we all, work with clients. And like, let's say, like my sink clogged today. I'm not trying to like manifest that or anything, but like, I'm not going to sit here and try to like figure that out myself. I'm just going to call someone. You know what I mean? If I don't know what I'm doing, but again, I think that there's people in the world who understand the value of branding and design and elements like that. And that's kind of the crowd I want to work with now. But back then I was like really eager and probably really naive, to be honest, because I was just really excited to work with anyone who would pay me. And that's
No,
100%
I
the
know
truth.
that feeling. I started the same way. When I look back, and actually, you and I started our businesses in almost the same date, but just years apart. But I looked back and I saw my first receipt of cash just the other day, that my first time I got paid. And I was so excited that I posted it to social media. And that first check, feels really exciting. And then you look back and you're like, wow, I can't believe I charged only
Yeah.
that much. So if you were to go back in time and give yourself advice, so future self says, do this and it'll speed up the process or make things better, what would you tell the next wave of entrepreneurs who are thinking about launching?
I think that it's really important to have some type of a safety net when it comes to like financials, like you mentioned, like savings or like a full time job. Or like, I think if I didn't have small kids at the time that I started, I would have approached this in a much different place. Or like, if I didn't want to be home with them, part of the time it would have been a completely different thing for me, but that was like my choice. But I would really just say, like, pay attention to your gut and like actually think bigger than you think. I just thought I was going to be like a freelance graphic designer, like working with clients in Des Moines, Iowa. I've had clients who have been on Steve Harvey and like the Ellen Show. And it wasn't even because I was doing any marketing. It was just because I did it what I said I was going to do when I said I was going to do it. Obviously, like, there's more to it than that. But I think, just like trust in your gut. Don't be afraid to walk away from opportunities if it's not a good fit. And like, if you want something to happen, you need to ask for it, even if you get it.
Nice. That's good. Well, Melissa, thank you a ton for taking a minute to meet with me. I'm so glad. And the best way to reach you is on LinkedIn?
Probably my website's just melissaburkheimer.com, and you can find me on LinkedIn, and then Instagram too, really wherever.
All right. I will make sure that that is included. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thanks, Matthew.